shall we begin?
Let the games begin.
All right.
A new age has begun. An age of freedom.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Get to the chopper!
This is going to be quite a ride.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Movie Pit Podcast. I am your host, Christian. Thank you very much for joining me on the podcast this week. This is, of course, the Movie Pit Podcast, where we talk about all of the big news items of the week. We'll also talk about a trailer that came out this week. And, well, that's pretty much it, because there's no movies coming out in theaters this weekend, which is usually where I would say this part. That being said, it started off kind of as a slow week, and then, right here at the end of the week, it started turning into a release date dump, if you will. So there's that going on. But still, even then, it still wasn't that big of a week, really, when you think about it. So obviously, in the age of Corona that we live in, release date movie news items don't even feel big anymore. They're just it's routine at this point. So let's talk about some movie news items that came out over the weekend first. And that is that Godzilla vs. Kong has been moved. It has been moved up 2 months. It was originally supposed to come out in May. It will now come out on March 26th, to be more precise. We will also be getting this. This didn't come out over the weekend. This actually came out this week. A trailer is going to drop for the movie on Sunday. No word yet on where or when. Maybe, presumably, during one of the football games on, because, want to get as much eyes on that as possible. Who knows? But the trailer is coming out on Sunday for Godzilla vs. Kong. And they released a new poster, which looks really cool. And yeah, I mean, all of it it's the hype. The hype is real. The hype train is real, even though I keep saying that I leave hype at the door. But it's kind of hard to not be hyped about this movie when the first footage of the movie that we saw was Godzilla coming out of the water and Kong right there to meet him and just basically punches him in the face. So how can you not be excited about that? So Godzilla vs. Kong will be coming out in March 26th. So you can take a look forward to that. Obviously, we'll talk about the trailer next week on the podcast. Can't remember if this came out last week over the weekend or if it came out this week or if I just saw it again this week. But I just want to mention it because I just mentioned it here, I guess, because I don't know where. I keep forgetting how this came out. Zack Snyder, he will be releasing his Snyder cut of the Justice League on HBO Max in its whole entirety. Whatever 4-hour long cut or whatever it was of the movie that he has. He will be releasing that in its entirety. There was rumors saying that it was going to be like an episodic take, so they were going to break it up into 4 different parts, or 2-part, and then it was 2 parts. But now Zack Snyder confirmed that he will be releasing the movie in one giant chunk. So take that for what it is. Be prepared. Prepare yourself. Go to the bathroom beforehand, unless you want to pause it while you're at home, because that's the benefit of watching at home. You can pause a movie if you really have to go to the bathroom and not worry about missing anything. But yeah, there's that, and obviously once that comes out, we'll talk about it and stuff. But just thought I should let you know, because I know there's a lot of Snyder cut fans out there, and there's some people tired of people mentioning the Snyder cut, like myself. But I just wanted to mention that. All right. So that being said, let us move on to the next movie news item. It's actually a trailer. We're talking about a trailer this week, and that trailer is for Boss Level. It is directed and co-written by Joe Carnahan, who directed Smoking Aces, The A-Team, The Grey. The movie stars Frank Grillo as an ex-Special Forces agent Forces agent named Roy, who is stuck in a time loop where assassins keep killing him. The man behind it is Colonel Ventor, played by Mel Gibson, who is in charge of the secret government program, and maybe, from the looks of the trailer, maybe has Roy's ex-wife, played by Naomi Watts, captive. So the whole point is obviously him trying to get to Ventor and also try to save his wife, Frank Grillo, being Boss Level co-stars Will Sasso, Ken Jeong, Annabelle Wallace, and Michelle Yeoh. This will come out on Hulu in early March. I believe that first weekend of March. So prepare yourselves for that. This is actually something I've been looking forward to for a while. I really like Joe Carnahan. I like his movies. I know a lot of people have their feelings about the Gray. I know a lot of people have their feelings about the A-Team. All of his movies, pretty much, people have a lot of opinions about them. But I'm a big fan of Joe Carnahan. I like what he does. I like, his whole partnership with Frank Grillo. This is, I think, technically their second movie they've released with each other. I know they're working on another movie. I think they have another movie in the works. I think they got like 2 or 3 movies in the works together. They're pretty much, joint at the hip now at this point. And it's a good team up. Frank Grillo, obviously getting his, been in the business for a long time. And I feel like now he's starting to blow up, and more power to him, because he's a great actor and he seems like a really great person. And he enjoys working with Joe Carnahan. You see behind the scenes videos of them working together, and they're having a lot of fun together. So I'm all for their partnership. And for this, I've been actually looking forward to this for a while, because the concept's so out there. Obviously the Groundhog Day concept, which, we've been seeing, we see every now and then pop up in different genres. This is obviously now an action genre, and it looks, it knows what it is. It doesn't look like it's taking itself seriously. So as long as, you're having fun with it, I think, you can do pretty okay with the concept. So there you go. Boss Level trailer will be down below, linked in the description / show notes area for all you guys to go watch. All right. So let's move on to the big movie news items for the week. We're going to talk about, of course, being the times that we are living in Corona. Things are still getting moved around. Things are still getting pushed back. And we have a few of those officially. I say officially because there are some other movies, big movies, that may be getting delayed again, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Universal and Amblin have moved the Tom Hanks movie Bios from its April release date to August 13th of this year. Not next year, of this year. Originally, the movie was supposed to come out last year in October, but, well, again, Bios will see Hanks play a robotics engineer who, being one of the few survivors of a cataclysmic solar event that has left the world a wasteland and living in an underground bunker for a decade, he wants to make sure his beloved dog named Goodyear is cared for when he's gone. That sounds mildly depressing, but you know what? We're all going to go watch it, and we're going to cry, probably, because, it's Tom Hanks. Anyway, this is so yeah, there's that. This is another kind of move. Netflix has acquired the worldwide rights, except for China. That was in the, I found that weird that it was in the, I mean, it's probably not weird, but I just found it funny that was in all of the news outlets, in parentheses, except China. I just found that weird. Or I found that funny. The worldwide rights to Sony Pictures Animation's The Mitchells versus the Machines, which was originally titled Connected and was originally supposed to come out last year. The animated feature follows the Mitchells, mainly Katie Mitchell, voiced by Abby Jacobson, a creative outsider who wants to escape her family, who is accepted into the film school of her dreams. Her father, voiced by Danny McBride, decides that the whole family is going to take Katie up to college for a last family outing. Unbeknownst to them, there is a robot uprising. Phil Lord and Chris Miller have their hands on the project as producers. Netflix, meanwhile, has not set an exact date for the movie, but they do plan on releasing it later this year. This goes along with Netflix's. They released a trailer last week. It was like over the weekend that, or I think it was during the week. I just didn't see it until the weekend, but I think it was during the week. They released a trailer that they were going to release a new movie every week this year. So I don't know how, maybe, I don't know where they're going to fit this, but there you go. I mean, this probably seems like a good, like, either middle of the summer, like 4th of July weekend, or maybe like a Thanksgiving. I doubt they would release it on Christmas. Maybe, I don't know, who knows, but yeah, that's what I'm guessing. All right. Searchlight, like last year, they delayed all of their movies like everybody else. But unlike everybody else, Searchlight just took all their movies off the release schedule and didn't give them a new date. They just removed them. So Searchlight this week have announced some of their movies to have release dates. Not all of them, just a good chunk of them. Or not even a good chunk of them, just a good like handful of them. But nonetheless, this is a nice move, a great move on Searchlight's part. to do this. So the first movie is The Night House, which will be released on July 16th. That is directed by David Buckner, who did The Ritual on Netflix, which was very good if you haven't watched it. It's a horror movie, so if you're not a horror movie fan, probably wouldn't recommend it. But if you want to take the chance, go ahead and watch it. And if it's anything like The Ritual, then I'm pretty sure we can expect, we know what to expect when we see The Night House. That follows a widow, played by Rebecca Hall, who begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets. And that's pretty much all that the synopsis has to offer on that. On the 24th, September 24th, I should say, September 24th, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. This is based on a 2012 documentary of the same name. It is a fictionalized account of a, quote, intimate look at the extraordinary rise and fall and redemption of televangelist. For whatever reason, I couldn't say the word and I was coughing. Of televangelist Tammy Faye Baker. Jessica Chastain will play Tammy Faye, while Andrew Garfield will play her husband, Jim Baker. I have not seen the documentary. I don't know anything about who this Tammy Faye Baker person is. But there you go. That movie will come out on the 24th. On the 29th, the long delayed, even before coronavirus hit, Antlers will come out on October 29th, directed by Scott Cooper, who did Black Mass. That's the Whitey Bulger movie with Johnny Depp. He did that. He also did Out of the Furnace with Christian Bale and Woody Harrelson. And produced by Guillermo del Toro, it follows a middle school teacher, played by Kerry Russell, in an isolated Oregon town, who, along with their sheriff brother, played by Jesse Plemons, become embroiled in an enigmatic student whose dark secrets lead to terrifying encounters with a legendary ancestral creature who came before them. This movie was on a lot of people's most anticipated movies of the year. It was definitely on my most anticipated movies of the year, and then it kept getting pushed back. So even before last year, I think the movie was supposed to come out like in January, and for whatever reason, they pushed it back. I think it had to do something with the Disney Fox merger. To be honest, I think they were just trying to push some stuff back so they didn't know how to handle all the movies coming in. So they delayed it because of that, I believe, and then they just kind of didn't know what to do with it. And then Corona hit, and they pulled it off the release schedule, and no one knew what to do with the movies anymore. And now I think we're finally getting it, hopefully on the 29th of October. Hopefully that finally comes out. There's a trailer for that. I'll do my best to remember to link it. This is, I guess, my reminder when I'm editing the podcast. When I'm editing the podcast. Wow. I guess I'm still shaking some rust off, guys. My apologies. When I'm editing the podcast, I will obviously put a link to the trailer if you want to know a little bit more about that and go check that out. And finally, on December 3rd, the much talked about, highly anticipated next movie by Guillermo del Toro, Nightmare Alley, will be coming out. This is based off the 1946 novel of the same name. It was adapted into a movie beforehand, actually a year after the book came out. If you want to go search that, the movie follows a, quote, ambitious young carny played by Bradley Cooper with a talent for manipulating people with a few well-chosen words, hooks up with a female psychiatrist played by Kate Blanchett. I don't know why her name is so hard for me to say for some reason. Anyway, who is even more dangerous than he is. The impressive cast also includes Toni Collette, Rudy Mara, William Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, and of course, Guillermo del Toro's Rock, Ron Perlman. I don't know why I laugh at Ron Perlman. I love Ron Perlman, don't get me wrong. And him and Del Toro have a good thing going, so I'm not gonna bash that. One note, so I'm excited for that, Nightmare Alley. That was supposed to come, it wasn't supposed to come out last year. I think there were a lot of people saying it was supposed to come out last year, but obviously when Rona hit, it pushed back production on a lot of projects. So I think it probably maybe could have come out last year, but obviously that didn't work out. So it's coming out this year, December 3rd. I'm excited for that. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of Guillermo del Toro. I love Guillermo del Toro. I love all his movies. So I'm really looking forward to this. There was a notable absence in Searchlight Pictures release slates, and that was Wes Anderson's The French Dispatch. That was not given a new release date. There have been rumors that the movie will be coming out this year. There was rumors that it may be coming out during the summer. There are rumors that it may be a part of the Cannes Film Festival this year. So if that is the case, then it could probably start coming out in the fall. As I don't even think it's a rumor. I think it's a strong possibility that it will come out this year. It's just a matter of when it will come out this year. So there you go. Some other studios also announced some release date changes after the week came out. After that, Sony Pictures has shifted some of their movies once again. Cinderella, the musical directed by Kay Canyon, who directed the movie Blockers, starring singer Camila Cabello in the title role, will now open on July 16th. It was originally set to come out in February 5th, but that is no longer the case. Sony apparently wants the movie to come out in theaters, so no word yet on a digital or home release just yet. Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway has moved yet again. That movie feels like it's never going to come out. That will come out on June 11th, I should say. Sorry, June 11th. For the second time this month alone, Morbius has moved from its newly minted October release to a now January 21st, 2022 release. That's the second move in a month. Earlier this month, it was revealed that it would come out in October, and now it's not looking good for Morbius. Ghostbusters Afterlife will now come out on November 11th, to be more specific, instead of June 11th. Apparently Sony is very high on the movie, so they're probably going to keep pushing that back as much as possible and as long as they can before realizing that there's a chance that maybe they have to release the movie on digital and home release. Finally, the long-gesturing Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, which was always moving release dates around even before COVID, has moved yet again from its July 16th release of this year to next year as well, on February 11th, 2022. That's Sony. Universal also moved some things around, one of them being something that has been speculated for a while, or at least within the last couple of weeks. No Time to Die has been pushed back. The movie was going to come out in April 2nd, again, to be more specific, but now the movie will come out later in the year on October 8th. Originally, the 25th Bond movie was going to come out last year in April, but before COVID, and then essentially shut everything down. It was delayed till November of this year, or of last year, and then it got pushed back again to April, and now it's being pushed back to October. So there you go. Of course, this will be Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie. Rami Malek's playing the villain of the movie, and Lashana Lynch is playing a new 00 agent in that. So that's kind of a shame that we have to keep waiting for No Time to Die. And of course, the joke that just writes itself, there's a lot of time to die because of all these delays that just keep happening. Universal also released has also released some other movies they're moving around. The Addams Family animated sequel is set to come out on October 8th. They pretty much just delayed that a week. It was originally supposed to come out on the 1st. Now it's coming out on the 8th. Edgar Wright's newest movie, Last Night in Soho, not The Last Night, it's just Last Night in Soho, has moved from its April release to October 22nd. He also revealed the news himself on his Twitter account. The Bob Odenkirk action movie Nobody, which the trailer for that is amazing. If you want to go check that out, I'll link that below in the description / show notes area as well. It's basically just Bob Odenkirk. It's basically Bob Odenkirk's John Wick movie, and that's pretty much what it is. That has moved from its initial February 26th release date to April. There's not an exact, at least from the report that I read, there wasn't an exact April release, but I think they're probably aiming it for an early April release from some other outlets that I read. So there is that. Universal also announced a new Michael Bay directed thriller called Ambulance, which will come out on February 18th, 2022. Ambulance is actually based off a Danish film of the same name. Actual plot details for Michael Bay's version is being kept secret for now, but it is expected to be in the spirit of 90s movies like Speed and Michael Bay's own movie Bad Boys. So there's that. It also has a pretty impressive cast. Apparently Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Issa Gonzalez, Garrett Dillon Hunt, and a few more other supporting roles have been filled out already. So I guess we're in for another Michael Bay movie, I guess. I mean, you got Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and you got Yahya Abdul Mateen II in there. I'm game for that, really, to be honest. I'm not a big Michael Bay fan anymore, but if he goes back to his 90s action way, then I'm game for it, because I like early Michael Bay. I really do. But there you go. Those are all the updates that's going on. Not very surprising considering, everything that's been going on with COVID and everything, and things just keep getting pushed back. There's rumors that Black Widow is also apparently going to get delayed again. There's not an official announcement as of this recording yet, but we can probably expect it sometime soon from the looks of it. But that sucks. And obviously, we want to keep everyone safe and things, but just keep again, I mentioned it earlier. It feels like these news reports of movies getting pushed back or getting new release dates, it's commonplace now. It's not even, I don't even think it's news anymore. I think it's just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, okay, that's fine. So that's I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully things get better. So I don't know. I really don't know. All right, there you go. Disney's live-action Peter Pan and Wendy has found its Mr. Smee, and comedian and actor Jim Gaffigan. Jude Law will play Captain Hook with newcomer Alexander Maloney. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It's not spelled like Christopher Maloney. It's spelled another way. But I think I'm assuming that's how you say his name. Again, if I apologize if that's not how. Anyway, Maloney will play Peter Pan. Ever Anderson, she is the daughter of Mila Jovovich and director Paul W.S. Anderson. She will be playing Wendy. And Yara Shahidi will be playing Tinkerbell in the movie. David Lowery will be directing the live-action remake. He has already worked with Disney in the past. He actually directed Pete's Dragon, which was very, very good. I very much enjoyed Pete's Dragon. So he will be working with Disney once again, with production slated to begin in March, and the movie set to come out on Disney+. They did I can't remember if it was a shareholders meeting or if it was one of Disney's presentations that they did, that they said that it would be coming out on Disney Plus and not a theater release. But yeah, there's that. I like Jim Gaffigan. He's great. I think he kind of fits Mr. Smee. If you look at Jim Gaffigan, you look at Mr. Smee as his characters as he's drawn. That's a pretty good fit. That's pretty good casting right there. So there you go. Moving on. Here's an interesting one. Epic Games, the developer and publisher of games, probably most notable now for Fortnite, is making moves to make their first movie, and an animated movie at that. It's actually an animated movie about the ancient Mesopotamian mythological hero Gilgamesh. Through their Epic Mega Grants program, Epic Games is supporting the Latin American animation studio Hookup, along with two Argentinian firms, which will use Epic's Unreal Engine technology to make the movie about the epic hero Gilgamesh. The feature already has a director, an Argentinian director, Tomás Lipgott. He's produced a few things. I think he released something last year that I read in the report, but I apparently did not put in my outline. But he released some stuff over there. FYI, the Unreal Engine technology has been used in Hollywood before. Disney uses it a lot. They actually use the technology from The Mandalorian to create a lot of the background sets. HBO also uses it, or has used it for Westworld. So the Unreal technology has been used in movies before, and it should be interesting to kind of see how they do this. Obviously, with the Fortnite thing, Fortnite's always releasing skins and stuff. They released a skin for the Mandalorian, for I think it was it Kratos from God of War and Master Chief. So we'll probably see a Gilgamesh thing, a skin soon on Fortnite if there isn't one already. I don't play Fortnite. I used to play Fortnite. I don't play it anymore. But yeah, this is interesting. It's a lot of video game companies are coming in. Ubisoft is doing their stuff. Obviously, we have the Uncharted movie, which we talked about earlier. They're doing a Last of Us TV series. Ubisoft's been talking about doing a bunch of other movies. So it should be interesting to kind of see how all this works out. But more power to Epic Games if they can pull this off. And of course, Gilgamesh itself is it's probably thrived for movie content, but it should be interesting to kind of see it being told through animated form and through the Unreal Engine technology. So that should be cool. And this is interesting. This one's interesting when I read it for the first time. Matt Damon is reportedly returning to the MCU for Thor: Love and Thunder. If you remember, Damon actually appeared in a cameo as an actor playing Loki in Thor Ragnarok. So obviously the question is, will Damon return playing that same actor or will he be coming back in a completely new, different way? We don't know yet, but Matt Damon is returning. Apparently he was seen in Australia, which is where they're going to film the movie, quarantining. It is known that Matt Damon and Chris Hemsworth are actually friends, so maybe he was just visiting his good friend, who knows? But there you go. We don't know too much about Thor: Love and Thunder anyway. We do know that Natalie Portman will return as Jane Foster, and she will be coming She will become Lady Thor. She will wield the hammer. Chris Hemsworth, of course, is obviously set to return. Tessa Thompson is also set to return. It was also revealed that Christian Bale will be playing the villain in the movie. On top of that, it was also revealed that Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, and Pom Klementieff will be playing their Guardians of the Galaxy characters. Of course, that's Star-Lord, Drax, Nebula, and Mantis. So that's all cool. Taika Waititi will also be returning to write and direct the movie, and it currently has a May 6, 2022 release. Again, given that Rona doesn't ruin everything. But that's kind of cool. I don't know if I want Matt Damon to come back as the Asgardian actor or as a new character, to be honest. I think him showing up would be really cool, but I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know, but I find that kind of cool, so I'm all for it. More good actors joining the MCU, even if it's just a cameo role, I'm all for it. So yeah, there you go. All right, moving on. Armie Hammer's replacement in the action comedy Shotgun Wedding may have been found in Josh Duhamel, which is nothing against Josh Duhamel. I think he's probably a really cool guy to hang out with. Kind of a downgrade from Armie Hammer. Although after finding out what potentially Armie Hammer's into, maybe not that much. If you remember last week, Hammer left the project due some direct messages suggesting some very kinky things on his account. Hammer left the project on his own accord, which the studio and project was fine with, and supposedly backed him on that decision for leaving. But Duhamel will potentially be joining Jennifer Lopez as a couple who gather their families for a destination wedding, even as they start to get cold feet. The entire wedding party then gets taken hostage, and presumably, I'm assuming that they have to save them. I don't know. Presumably, again, that's the case. Jason Moore, who directed Pitch Perfect, will be directing the movie, with production expected to start in February. So it's expected to start next month. So if they do officially sign Duhamel, it's gotta be pretty soon. And finally, the last movie news item of the week, at least at the time of this recording, this is a weird one. I don't know how I feel about this. This is a movie I don't think we need, and I don't think anyone really wants or ever thought that they wanted, but it's happening. It's finally happening. The origin story of Willy Wonka from Warner Brothers took a major step this week, because Warner Brothers, after 5 years, yes, you heard that right, 5 years of planning, has set a date for Wonka. Yes, that is the name of the movie. And they're setting it for March 17th, 2023. This was first reported back in 2018, when names like Ryan Gosling, Donald Glover, and Ezra Miller were being eyed to star. But that is no longer the case, apparently, because they have moved on to other names, young names, big names in Hollywood that we all may be familiar with, like Timothée Chalamet and Tom Holland. So those are the two names that are currently being eyed to play Willy Wonka. Paul King, who directed the Paddington movies, will direct the movie from the script by Simon Rich, who has done a lot of TV series like Man Sinking Woman, Miracle Workers, Saturday Night Live. He did do a movie recently called American Pickle, which was the Seth Rogen movie, which you can watch on HBO Max. And the plan is to start production in the next 4 months. So we can probably be expecting to hear a lot more from Wonka if that is your thing. Again, I don't think we really need this. I think, I share, there's not a lot of times where I share the same sentiment as a lot of people on film Twitter or just in Twitter in general. But I think I'm going to agree with this one. I don't think we need a Willy Wonka origin story. Yeah, I just, I don't think we need it. I don't think we need it. I don't think we want it. Nothing against Timothée Chalamet or Tom Holland. I'm sure they're great guys to hang out with. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I'm sure Tom Holland is. I don't know about Timothée Chalamet. I think I'm not a big Timothée Chalamet guy. I'm just gonna say it. I'm the limited exposure I have to Timothée Chalamet in I can't even remember Lady Bird and Little Women. That was the other movie. I was thinking of the other Saoirse Ronan movie and I couldn't think of it. The limited exposure to that, it's been a very. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I finished watching Call Me by Your Name. I'm just gonna be straightforward with you guys. I don't think I finished watching it. I think I started watching it and I think it was late at night and I don't think I saw the whole movie, so I had to go back and probably watch it, which of course starred Armie Hammer. But yeah, I don't think I finished watching that movie. I know a lot of you guys are gonna hate me, but I think that is the case. But regardless of that, I don't know. Do we need an origin story of Willy Wonka? Can we just leave the fact that Willy Wonka is probably a sociopath and killing little kids and be done with it. No, we can't leave it there. But allegedly, for a fake character, allegedly. But I don't know, man. I don't think we need this one. And again, nothing against Timothée Chalamet, nothing against Tom Holland. But I don't know. I don't think we need it. All right, everybody, and that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast this week. I very much appreciate it. It was a lot of fun talking about all this stuff, all the movie release dates. If you noticed that the podcast was weirdly edited, it's because it probably was. There was just some stuff that came out after the fact, after I had recorded a large chunk of the podcast, and then all this other news came out. So I apologize if the podcast was a little bit weirdly edited this week. As you can tell, I'm still shaking a little bit of the podcast rust off. So I apologize for that. But thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast this week. Very much appreciate it. Make sure to check out all of the links down below in the comments. I always do that in the description/show notes area. It's links to social medias like the Twitter account, my Instagram, also all the places where you can listen to the podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. So go check out all those places. Go make sure to follow and do whatever you need to do over there to make sure you get the podcast every week. Well, every week it comes out, not every week. Yeah, I'm not gonna make that promise anymore. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me on the podcast this week. Very much appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this week's movie news items. What do you think of all the moves, of all the movie news, and yeah. So obviously something big is always gonna drop afterwards. So we'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer next week as well. Or I'll just, post it up on the Twitter page. So you guys go check that out. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast this week. Very much appreciate it. Have a very safe, fun, very, very, very safe. Also have some fun, but more importantly, have a very safe weekend this week. If you go out, please wear your mask. Please wash your hands, social distance, and of course, as always, be good people. Don't be stupid, and go watch some movies.
Whoop whoop! Yeah! Give it up! Movies!